So here at Weddings and Honeymoons magazine, I'm delighted to be joined by Celebrant Stephanie Forster from Silver Bee Ceremony. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
And so I'm delighted to hear about you as a celebrant, how you deal with the couples, and really to understand what the whole business is about. Because I think sometimes people start the process of a wedding and don't really know about all these different elements that come together. So can you explain to me what it is to be a celebrant and to hire a celebrant for your wedding?
Yes, certainly. So it's something that's growing in popularity, and people choose a celebrant because they want to get married in a place of their choice. Maybe they live abroad, but they want to get married in the UK with all their family with them. And having a celebrant in England and Wales at the moment to do your wedding isn't legally binding. So not many people realise that. So if you want to have your legal wedding, you still need a registrar or you need a vicar. So people want more choice and they want a more personal service. They have someone like me as a celebrant lead the ceremony for them.
So explain to me the difference between a registrar and a celebrant.
Yeah, sure. So a registrar is someone who is employed by the council, and you either go to the registry office for your wedding or they will come to a licensed venue. And they will follow a set pattern for the ceremony and the legal elements that need to be completed. Whereas a celebrant will lead a ceremony that's completely personal to the couple. So it's all about what you want to include in your ceremony, and it can be anywhere you choose as well. So it could be in your parents' back garden. I've done ceremonies in someone's granddad's paddock, which was lovely. Or it could be in a woodland or a stately home, or just anywhere you feel like, or even on the beach.
So it gives you a lot more freedom then. So you have the venue, of course, is important to you, but it means you will be almost anywhere within reason, and that's what you can't get with a registrar. But you've also said about spending time with the couple, being personal. How does that offer more than a registrar would?
So the registrar will send through a questionnaire to the couple beforehand generally, and they'll have a sort of set standard of questions that they'll ask them. They'll ask them a little bit about themselves. But as a celebrant, the whole sort of ethos is that the ceremony is as personal and as unique to the couple as they are. So I will personalise my ceremonies right from the opening words, and it's about what matters to that couple, what makes them tick, what their values are, including their family and friends in the ceremony, and just making it exactly as they want it to be, which includes all sorts of symbolic gestures maybe, or personal elements involving family and friends. So it can be quite a broad range of items that are included within the ceremony.
And how do you get all this information from them? Do you send out a questionnaire as well?
No, so I would meet, if a couple thinks they're interested in using me for their service, so I would meet with them on Zoom generally first, or if they're local, we might meet for coffee. And it's important that you're comfortable with the celebrant and you feel like they're a good fit for you.
Right.
And so that initial conversation is kind of for the couple to find out, do I think this person's right for me? And we can talk through some ideas. So I kind of talk through with the couple how the ceremony could flow if they're not sure of what they want. And we talk through lots of different ideas. And from that, then I create a ceremony plan. So something that they can then look back on and think, is that exactly what we want? And they can kind of have a think about it.
Right.
And then I meet up with them in person, and we would have a chat, normally for a couple of hours, over coffee or drinks. And I ask them all about themselves. I send them a little bit of homework beforehand to do on a date night, to talk about what does getting married mean to them? Why is it important? And those elements I like to build into the ceremony when I'm talking about marriage and what it means.
Oh, lovely, of course, because the wedding's just the beginning. So that's would you help them write their vows as well?
Yes, I do. Yeah. Okay. So I think one of my favourite things is when the couples choose to write their own wedding vows, and they write them independently from each other, so they don't know what the other one's going to say until they kind of read them out on the day. So I've got a sort of crib sheet that helps them think about how to write their vows, and gives them some ideas as well and some inspiration to draw on.
There's some people that would come naturally to, and some people
find it quite hard, yeah. And some people I just say, don't worry, send me some notes, give me some rough ideas, and then I'll kind of help turn it into the vows for you.
Right.
But normally following my kind of guide, people kind of manage to work it out themselves. And the nicest vows are the ones that people write straight from the heart, and they're not
Yes,
sure whether
lovely.
they're right or not, and you read them and think, oh my God, this is amazing.
Yes, if they're able to be that open, that
Yeah.
sounds lovely. Actually, is that kind of slightly infectious? All that lovely sort of enthusiasm and the love that you're
It
witnessing.
is,
I suppose.
yeah. And weddings can be emotional moments, and you're so intimate with the couple in that time. It's kind of easy to get caught up in that emotion and the kind of the joy and the excitement as well.
Lovely.
So it's
Well, that's
really
nice
special.
for them to know you're enjoying it like that as well.
Yeah.
That's lovely. So if I was a couple coming to you, how soon in advance of the wedding would you expect me to contact you, or what's normal?
I suppose normal is probably between 12 and 6 months before the wedding.
Okay, quite far in advance then.
Yeah, so generally once people have booked their venue, then they might look at the other suppliers, such as photographers, maybe caterers, florists, and a celebrant would be within those people that they're then contacting once they've got the venue.
Right, okay.
So,
are you recommended by some venues as well? Is that often
yeah, so I'm a preferred supplier at some venues in Surrey,
Right.
which is lovely. The one I'm doing tomorrow, actually, I'm a preferred supplier for, so that's really special when you get to go back to the same venue.
Yeah. And so you do a lot of understanding of the couple themselves and how they met and that side of things as well?
Yeah. So I kind of tell their love story as part of the ceremony if they want me to, and that's why a lot of couples choose a celebrant, because they want their love story told and they want it to be about them and personal. So I would ask them about how they first met, first dates. When did they first know that maybe there was something special? And if they're up for it, I also contact their family and a few close friends and get some of their anecdotes. And then I kind of weave that into the ceremony, but that's a bit of a surprise. They won't know what the family and friends have said until I read that out on the day.
Oh, so that must be quite moving for them on the day.
Yeah, it can be. Yeah, and often quite entertaining as well from family members, the things that they say. It's
So
quite
how
funny.
do you balance being a very important part of the ceremony but not taking the spotlight?
I suppose I'm all about facilitating that time for the couple, and as I said, telling their story and making it all about them. So I suppose people often say I'm quite a calm kind of celebrant. So when I'm stood at the front, I'm a calming influence for the couple, and I suppose I'm quite relaxed and gentle in the way I'm talking. And then when we're doing the love story or some funny anecdotes, I'll get a little bit more animated at that point to kind of get the points across.
Yeah, but otherwise you're just a calming presence to sort of showcase them.
Yes, yeah, that's
Okay.
right, yeah.
And all this sort of lead up and build up, you're building a picture of the couple, of their journey. And if you say it's normally 12 months, have you ever done any that's a really short time scale?
Yeah, so this summer I did one actually. The couple live in Australia, but they were over here in the UK, and he proposed in the UK, and they were staying for another 6 weeks, and they decided to do the wedding within the 6 weeks.
Oh, that's unusual.
Yeah,
The whole wedding in there.
Yes, yeah, they did really well. They're very organised. And so they contacted me, and we did kind of organise the whole thing.
Was it a challenge for you to do it in that time scale?
No, they were very organised, and I suppose it's good to work to a deadline, and we were quite clear on what the deadlines were going to be. So it was lovely actually, and they had family here because they live in the UK, and then they're having a big sort of wedding party when they get home for all of their friends in Australia. So
I see. So that wasn't a challenge that fazed you particularly? that
no,
short time
not
scale.
at all.
Have you ever had any other challenges? So say like a couple who are have stage fright or something like that? Anything that's been difficult?
There are some couples who really don't want to have to say anything during the ceremony, and they feel very conscious about having to stand at the front. I try and encourage them that, normally there's one that's a bit shyer than the other, so I normally encourage them to kind of make it work for the other one.
You find yourself coaching them? Almost?
Yeah, a little bit,
Nice.
yeah. And they can sit if they want. They don't have to stand at the front. If they feel that having to stand in front of everybody is too much,
Right.
they can sit down. And sometimes they won't say their own vows. They will just kind of say, I do. I'll say the words, and then they say I do if they really don't want to say anything.
That's a way to make them comfortable. Just give them
But I really encourage them to at least say a few vows and commitments to each other,
lovely.
because that's the key moment of the ceremony, really.
Yes, I suppose. But you also mentioned symbolism, and you said you sometimes have sort of certain vehicles for indicating or conveying the ceremony and the love. Can you give me an example of one of those?
Yeah, so I do quite a few ceremonies with symbolic gestures included, and it's a nice way to involve all the guests as well. So something like a ring warming ceremony,
Wow,
So
what's that?
whilst we're telling the love story, the couple's wedding rings are passed around all the guests. They all get to hold on to them, make a little private blessing, and pass them to the next person. So once they've been around all of the guests, they're warmed with everyone's love and wishes when you come to do the ring exchange. So that's a really nice way to involve everybody.
What a lovely idea. I've never heard of that. Oh, that's so nice. I've heard of a candle being lit. Are there other
A
things?
unity candle, yes. The other thing that's quite popular is a hand fasting, which is where the expressions of tying the knot and binding agreement originated. So it's got lots of history to it. So in the days before we had wedding rings, people were bound together before they got married with ribbons and cords.
Oh, really?
So it's a nod
That's
to
where
that.
that comes from?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. And so how did that manifest itself in a ceremony you'd be doing?
Yeah, so I normally put it before the vows. It's not quite a nice lead-in after the love story to then do the hand fasting. And so the couple's hands are bound with ribbons, which I can do, or a family member or friends can do. Or the children, that's quite nice if they've got children to come up and to do the hand fasting. And then we say the words for a hand blessing. And then they take the hands out and it creates a Celtic love knot in the middle. So it's a nice visual element to the ceremony and something people haven't often seen before.
And a keepsake.
And it's a
presumably.
keepsake. So I normally then put the ribbons round the cake.
Lovely. And so this is some clever knot that creates this. How amazing. I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
That's lovely. So you're really giving me a lovely picture of how that ceremony would go and any elements that they can choose to bring out. And so obviously this is all about you understanding the couple and making it personalised and supporting
that's right.
their guests with their community. So this makes you a certain type of person who's able to do that, presumably. So, what made you decide to do this as a job?
So I got married with a celebrant in New Zealand, and it was the first time I'd ever heard of Celebrant, so my first experience. And I came away thinking, oh, that's a nice job. I think I could do that. And my husband said to me, that's a nice job. You could do that. I was like, yeah. So kind of years later, I was then thinking I wanted to change jobs from my kind of marketing work, and decided to give the Celebrancy a go.
How long ago was that?
So that was, I did my training in 2017 and then I started as a celebrant in 2018.
Lovely.
So yeah, so I've done nearly 100 weddings in that time.
Oh, right, okay.
Yes, all sorts of shapes and sizes, from just kind of very intimate ceremonies with 8 people to 150.
8?
Yeah.
Wow. 100. So just 8 people to 150. Does that require a different approach and different content?
I suppose the small ceremonies, like with the 8 people I did, that was just a couple of weeks ago actually, it makes it very intimate. It was all family, and I managed to involve then all of the guests in the ceremony, and everybody said some wishes or gave an anecdote or a nice message for the couple. So it felt kind of sort of very memorable for the whole family as well as the couple.
Very intimate.
Being that intimate.
Yes. And so how would that differ? Obviously you couldn't ask 150 guests to contribute, but how do you make it as intimate for a larger wedding?
So something like the ring warming works for that kind of number of people.
Right,
so
yes.
everybody can get involved in that way. And I like to ask the guests towards the end of the ceremony, once the couple have made all their commitments, then the guests make commitments to the couple as well. So I ask the guests to join in making, wishes for a long and happy life for the couple that are going to support them in their marriage. And everybody joins in and says, we do.
Oh,
so
lovely.
that's a really nice way to involve people. And then after the ceremony, I often recommend that we do a confetti walkway. So everybody kind of lines up and we create this walkway for the couple to walk through. And then everybody gets to throw their confetti or petals, whatever they've got, which is lovely.
And that's quite a traditional image, but
yes.
yet with a sort of a more modern take, that's how you create it. That's really lovely. I like this idea that you're making it bespoke for them. So you've done a really small wedding and much bigger weddings. Do you ever are these all in Hampshire or Surrey, or do you go further afield?
Yes, across the country and abroad as well. This summer I did a wedding in Germany, in Bavaria, by the side of a lake for a couple, which was absolutely gorgeous. It was a very hot day. All the guests were in the shade and we were in the sun. But they had met in Germany originally, and they both lived in China and Hong Kong. And then they finally settled back in Germany, and were living in London at the time when they were looking for a celebrant, and asked me if I'd go over and do the ceremony for them.
Was it all in English?
It was in English, yes, and the bride, some of her family don't speak English. She's Chinese, and so we had the script translated into Mandarin for them.
Oh, okay.
So they were able to follow the ceremony.
Did you have to say
Mandarin?
Speak any Mandarin yourself?
I did kind of do the hellos in different languages, but that was the extent.
That would be quite the challenge for anybody. Yeah, fantastic. Well, that's lovely.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
So you said to me you were in marketing before you became Celebrant. Do you think that really those skills are sort of transferable?
Definitely. Yeah. So the years of writing, editing, presenting, and kind of taking lots of information and then pulling out the important parts, distilling that into something that's interesting for people to hear about.
Yes.
Yeah, I think they're all great transferable skills to being a celebrant.
And marketing as well. You're often gauging the tone that the brand wants to put across. Now, that must be slightly similar with a couple. They have a tone to the wedding.
Definitely.
How do you gauge that, and how do you then make that happen?
Some of it is probably intuitive from the way the couple are, but I do ask them about what feel they want for the ceremony. So do they want it to be light-hearted? Do they want it to feel very heartfelt and sort of more traditional? So I would then write it based on what feel they want. And I suppose most of my ceremonies are kind of heartfelt and personal with some fun added in.
So are the less formal, or rather the more formal weddings are becoming less popular?
Yeah, and I think that's why a lot of people choose a celebrant, because they want it to be fun and light-hearted.
Yes.
With those sincere moments. So I do encourage the couple, when it comes to their vows, that's the kind of the serious part, and that's when we get sincere.
Yes.
If they want to add light-hearted elements, that's fine, but they're important promises that you're making to each other.
That makes sense. Yes, so that's an important moment, but there's jokes and light-heartedness. I assume especially when you have anecdotes from the guests. And
that's right, yeah. And people have great stories to tell for their love stories, so that you can bring a lot of kind of fun elements into that. And the differences couples have in their lives, and what makes them work, and just bringing all of those elements together, really.
So you're developing a really good understanding of your couples. Do you stay in touch with them afterwards? Or you must develop quite a big bond with them.
Yeah, so some couples I have done naming ceremonies for when they've had a baby, which is lovely to then be invited back to do. Or some couples, actually, I've done a naming ceremony, then I've done the wedding, then I've done another naming ceremony for child number 2, especially after lockdown, when people were thinking, we can't get married, but let's crack on with the family in between times.
Yeah.
So that's been really special. So some families, one family in particular, I have done a girl, and then I did her sister's wedding a couple of years later. Then I did her other sister's wedding a couple of years after that. So that's really lovely.
That's a nice
and you really get to feel like you're part of that family, really, and because you get to know everybody so well.
Yes, I'm sure. And the naming ceremonies, presumably that's a non-religious christening.
It is, basically, yes. And you appoint guide parents instead of godparents.
Right.
Yeah.
I like the way that can something they could progress to after the wedding when they've got to know you that well, and vice versa. So weddings, like all events, can have things go wrong. So have you had any really challenging moments in your career?
A couple, I suppose. I did have a groom once who was literally sobbing through the whole ceremony.
That's adorable, but also slightly stressful.
And I did at one point say, right, come on, this is it. Get yourself together now. You've got to say your vows, come on. But yeah, so endearing. And he was just so kind of overcome with the whole day. Another notable one was the groom was a big fan of Star Wars. He still is a big fan of Star Wars. And the bride, to surprise him, and she hadn't told me either, was that she was going to be flanked by stormtroopers as she came down the aisle.
Wow, so that was a surprise to you. So your face, as much as anyone else's, would have been a picture.
Yeah, so there's these 4 enormous stormtroopers with her and her dad in the middle as she came down the aisle. It made some great photos afterwards.
I'm sure it did. And how different that is. Again, that's what it's all about being weddings are so personal, aren't they?
They are, yeah.
That old-fashioned way of going to the church and having exactly the same thing that's done every Saturday. This is now not the way things are done anymore. And this is presumably why you'd want a celebrant.
Yes, yeah. It's unique, it's personal, it's all about you as a couple. It's not about anything else, and it's about your friends and family celebrating this sort of special day with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can see that's really lovely, and you've made me really understand why it's important to have a celebrant as opposed to just possibly just a registrar, because that's not done on the same day usually, is it? Is that right?
It's up to the couple. Generally speaking, they would probably go to the registrar a couple of days beforehand.
Okay.
And they literally just do the legals. And I say to them, don't exchange your wedding rings. Let's save that for when everybody's there. And then they kind of have their wedding day with all the friends and family there and the celebrant leading the service.
And that's seen as the wedding and the main part, really.
Yes,
so
it
just
is.
legalities out the way first. Okay, and so it's unusual to have it on the same day, is that right?
Yeah, some couples do. Some couples have had the registrar come to the venue in the morning and they've just done the legal part with them then. Or I've actually got a wedding tomorrow where the couple are having the registrar with all of the guests there. And then as soon as the registrar finishes the legal part, then I'm taking over and we get more personal and we tell the love story, and we do have a ring warming, and we've got family giving blessings. So there's lots of personal elements that come afterwards.
And that's why the focus is there, because it's about involving the guests and the community and the beginning of the marriage rather than just about the signing the legal papers.
Yeah,
lovely. I really love how you've described getting to know the couple, making it really bespoke and personal, understanding what they want from the ceremony. So, and if a couple was watching this and thinking, I need Stephanie, how do they get in touch with you?
They can Google Silver Bee Ceremonies, easy to find there, or I'm on all the socials. Or they can Google Stephanie Forster, they'd find me as well.
Okay, Silver Bee Ceremonies on socials, and Stephanie Forster. I think that's really fascinating. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Thanks.